Hi, welcome to SlowBlinks TV.
Sorry. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Charles.
And today we're going to be talking about dark shadows.
Oh!
SlowBlinks. God, I wore the right outfit. So let's talk about dark shadows.
It's like dark, like you can barely see anything in this show. I don't think we've talked about a soap opera before.
We have not. This is actually a gothic horror soap opera that ran from 1966 to 1971. It had 1,225 episodes.
Which is insane.
It is insane. The production was just every day with those people.
I have aunts who used to come home every day during summer from what they were doing to watch Dark Shadows every single day.
And my mom and my uncle used to run home after school to watch Dark Shadows.
So it was it.
So Dark Shadows takes place in Collinsport, Maine, entirely centered around the Collins family. There is a cannery that they own. It's a fishing village. They basically run the entire town.
They also have a mansion named Collinswood.
Initially, the show was supposed to be centered around a newcomer to the family named Victoria Winters. And then they got the star of the show.
200 episodes into the run of the show, the star arrives, Barnabas Collins.
And you were talking about what a teen heartthrob he was.
Yes, they were fan clubs and stuff. What was the name of the actor?
His name is Jonathan Frid. So we're going to talk a little bit about the characters that are just in this episode that I have frankened together. We already talked a little bit about Barnabas Collins. He is a vampire from 172 years prior to this episode who comes back and pretends to be his own descendant.
Classic vampire move.
They literally have a painting of him. He's like, yes, you can see how much I look like him. And then Cassandra Collins is actually the witch who cursed Barnabas all those years ago in the past for not returning her love. He was cursed to become a vampire.
Eternally sexy.
The eternally middle-aged vampire. So she has come back into Barnabas's life just to check in, make sure he's still miserable. She puts on a really hateful wig and changes her name. Originally it was Angelique. So Cassandra marries his cousin Roger so that she can stay at Collinswood, make sure the curse is still cursing.
It's good that she's keeping an eye on the curse and on Barnabas because there is a mad scientist character, Dr. Lang.
Dr. Eric Lang, played by Addison Powell,
who is attempting to cure Barnabas' vampirism. And the way he's going about it is he has a body stitched together from corpses, and he's going to transfer Barnabas' soul into this corpse body, and then he won't have vampirism anymore, but he'll be in a zombie body.
The thing is that he was a respected doctor at a hospital before he kind of went off the deep end.
They all start out like that.
I guess that kind of happened. So the other doctor in this episode is Dr. Julia Hoffman, played by Grayson Hall. And she was a psychologist and rare blood disorder specialist. She worked at a mental hospital called Windcliff that basically every character in the show gets to stay at some point. And then she met Maggie Evans, who was a victim of Barnabas. And so she discovers Barnabas and that he's a vampire and is the first person to try to cure him of his vampirism with blood transfusions. However, it doesn't work because it makes him look 172 years old. He's like, no, I have to be young, sexy, 50.
Or in a stitched together body made of corpses.
So that is actually the last character in the episode. His name is Adam. He actually doesn't get to do anything in this episode. He gets to open his eyes at the end of the episode, which he does very well.
Nails it. Can we dive into the plot a little bit?
It starts with Dr. Lang talking about the dream curse, which is another curse from, you guessed it, Cassandra. So her dream curse is particularly boring, and every single character gets to have a scene with the dream curse. And essentially what it is, whoever the character is, waking up to somebody knocking at the door. They open the door. That person says nothing. Then they get trapped in kind of a hallway with lots of doors.
No! No, don't let me go in there! I don't want to go in there! I know it's in there!
That's what's bothering him at the beginning of the episode. I just really love his delivery overall.
Yes, yes. The room grew lighter, and I was in a room, and it was a room
full of doors.
Every single line, he gives it every ounce of his entire being.
We imagine that he had a lot of stage credits before this. Anytime he can't remember a line, I think he just says Julia 2 or 3 times.
Julia. 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 Come here, Julia. 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 Julia.
The way the dream curse works is when you tell the person that was in your dream about the dream, then they get the dream curse. And he feels much better and he's ready to get on with his life. So Julia agrees to help him with his experiment, even though she doesn't really believe in it. She has more feeling for Barnabas. They're friends. She cares about his well-being.
Will Barnabas be in pain?
I thought you weren't going to be emotional.
Barnabas is a piece of laboratory equipment to Dr. Lang.
Barnabas arrives. He's ready for the experiment. He's got his robe.
Got his slippies on.
I am ready, Doctor. So this is how I'll look. There'll be certain alterations in the face, but they can be done later. I don't care how I look.
This is the first attempt by Dr. Lang with Julia Hoffman assisting.
I love all of this. They found every large switch they could find. They got a bunch of colored liquids. They have an effect I really like where they clearly spray some sort of conductive mist and then he electrocutes the crap out of Barnabas. So it turns out that Barnabas is in a lot of pain, but he's not the only one.
No, because we see Dr. Lang being actively cursed by Cassandra.
The pain will begin here, Doctor. Not enough to trouble you, just enough to make you wonder.
It is so painful. I've never seen somebody do this in real life. He takes off his glasses, slumps over, and farts smoke. Julia is there really to just check on Barnabas and the creature and see who's alive, who's not alive.
This attempt is a failure. They have to abruptly stop it.
Because Dr. Lang is straight up having a heart attack.
Julia! Julia! Come here, Julia. The main switches. Main switches. Turn them off. Off. Julia. Heart. Pulse. Barnabas.
It's very slow.
This 3 cc.
What is it?
Give it to him.
Tell me what it is.
Give it to him.
You've nearly killed him.
No.
After Barnabas kind of comes around and sees that Dr. Lang has had a heart attack, he knows who it is.
Right.
Who is it?
Cassandra.
No, lie back down.
No. Cassandra, she's found out she's going to kill him.
No, you must.
I must stop her.
Barnabas, please, you're too weak. You'll kill yourself.
She will kill him. I must go.
So he leaves, and Julia is sent for more digitalis. She's also been requested to carry on his work because Dr. Lang feels like he might die. As soon as she leaves the room, he thinks of something very important. He must tell her.
If they both live, Barnabas will be free and healthy as long as Adam lives.
Now you know what the enemy is. It is death.
Mrs. Collins, I will not put up with this.
Yes, if they both live what?
Listen. Listen.
Yes, I'm listening, Eric. What? What?
If they...
So now it's Julia's turn.
This psychologist and rare blood disorder expert is set to handle this. Do better than the first guy.
Apparently.
I'm ready.
Then begin. Well, what are you waiting for?
This may be the last time I'll ever see you as you are now.
That's the point of this, isn't it? What happened?
I had to stop.
Why?
I failed. That's all. It's all over.
It mustn't be.
So he sends her out to get the journals so they can figure out what they did wrong.
Barnabas gets to have a nice little Henry Frankenstein, you're alive moment.
You're alive. We're both alive.
All right, that is the episode.
Yeah, that's the episode.
The best things about this show are the things that come from it being a soap opera that had to film every day. They do not get another take.
The time is of the essence, and the body will begin to deteriorate after a certain number of hours.
How many hours?
Well, 48 at the most. I just simply can't have these interruptions.
There are some excellent characters. I hope that we get to go back and do another episode where we talk about Dark Shadows, because I would love to talk about some other characters like Nicholas Blair, or mostly him. Yeah, he's really fun.
Look at your hand, my dear. Look at your hand.
Oh, no! No!
All right, I want to talk a little bit about this thing that you have here, Kristen.
What is this? What have we done? I think I got on Mercari. This is ridiculous. If you want to watch Dark Shadows, it is free on Amazon. Don't do this unless you're a crazy person like me. Thank you so much for joining us here today on SlowBlinks TV, talking about Dark Shadows. We hope to catch you next time.
Happy Halloween!
Bye.